Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Friday morning. It is morning and I'm not having to check that this time. This is a little bit earlier in the day because just a little bit busy through the rest of the morning into the early afternoon, so I thought I'd get it done now. We've an interesting one around Gonçalo Inacio. Also an interesting story that came out around Andre, the Brazilian Fluminense midfielder. And the reason why I wanted to talk about the Gonçalo Inacio one in particular is twofold, and you'll see why shortly, okay? So I hope you're well, hope you're looking forward to it, and let's get into it. So let's talk in that Mr. Inacio himself. And from Ecuador, who, I talked about how earlier in this month, I think it was around the 2nd or 3rd of November, that Spurs were interested in the Sporting Lisbon centre-back. He actually prepared a new tweet that came out about an hour ago, and he said that Tottenham are preparing to make a move for Sporting Lisbon's 22-year-old Portuguese defender Gonçalo Inacio in January. Okay. Three things. Actually, I've said two, but I've got three. So the first one is, you could look at this deal, and look, I think there's going to need to be some sales. Like, I'm not gonna hide away from that. There's actually four things. There's four things on this. So sorry, I keep adding them. I'm just thinking it right now. The first thing is you've got Marcus Edwards right now at Sporting Lisbon. You've got that 25% sell-on fee, okay? They want to increase his release clause from 60 million euros to 80 million euros. So to get a little bit more money guaranteed out of him. You can use that because when we bought Pedro Porro, we actually said, here's 25% back, but you've got to help us negotiate the deal that suits us as well. So it worked out for everyone. You could do the exact same thing with Gonçalo Inacio because his release clause is 60 million euros. They're going to want 60 million euros there or thereabouts. But if you can say, yeah, but we're going to be taking at least 15 million euros of Marcus Edwards when you sell him, and if we might buy him, so you're going to get even less money. They might look at that and go, actually, it's a good point. Give us the 25%. Let's work out a deal on Gonçalo, okay? Number one. Number two, I thought this could be done maybe in the summer because maybe you might be looking to move a centre-half, a bigger name centre-half for a little bit more money and bring in this guy as one of his replacements, a Christian Romero, because we talked about how Real Madrid were interested in Christian Romero and the fact that they won't be making any moves till the following summer. So I thought that would be, something potentially we could be looking at. You could look at potentially this deal being done as a loan deal with an option to buy or an obligation to buy, kind of like what we did with Pedro Porro, potentially. And the other one, which I think is a little bit less unlikely, we have a certain centre-half at the club right now who did come from Sporting Lisbon, who speaks fluent Portuguese, Eric Dyer. A 6-month loan deal going back that way, so therefore you have a replacement in-house that you don't have to worry about getting someone in, potentially. In a previous story, you had Liverpool, Manchester United, PSG, and Real Madrid. They're all keen on Inacio, but if Real Madrid aren't buying someone till the following summer, don't know, that might open up the door for them to really go for Romero, potentially, you never know. Man United have financial fair play issues, and quite a large one. Liverpool, okay, yeah, I could probably see Liverpool and I could see PSG. So that's the way I look at it. I could see those three, us being the third. The three teams being the teams that are really in for him. But there is, as much as we talked about yesterday, that there's not a lot of money to spend. And that can be PR spin and that can be, manipulation and what have you. You could also look at it as, yeah, but you can still do deals. You can still work around things. And yes, he'd be a pretty decent amount of money signing. But if you can offer that 25% back on Marcus Edwards, if you could offer, a loan with a obligation to buy, if that works, you could offer Eric Dyer back that way. You could still get around it. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to stay a little bit positive around the really rubbish news of last night. I'm still trying to remain positive. Let's talk, though, on Andre. So it came from Sport Witness, who they talked about Andre as a player, and they sort of trying to give a bit of a deep dive into what he's good at and what he's not good at. And they said that Fulham are thought to be leading the race, but Tottenham, West Ham and Liverpool are also linked. The 22-year-old is a complete midfielder who's been of big help in Fluminense's defence, especially in the first phase of creation. Elected the best defensive midfielder in Brazil last season. That's it. That's quite an interesting one as well, because I think the number 6 role is a position of interest next summer, because I think we're going to keep Højbjerg. I think next summer is the summer where we go, that's the summer where Højbjerg's going to move on. And we're bringing someone in to become the next guy. Someone who's in their early 20s that we can kind of build up and up and up and up to the point where we go, there we go. There is now a Basuma-esque player or a Basuma rival for that position, right? So let's talk Andre. So he's 22 years old. He's actually not long 22. He'll be 23 basically by the end of the season. Brazil defensive midfielder. He is capped by Brazil as well, by the way, which is a good sign. Contract ends in the December of 2026. So got a little while left on that side of things. He played a lot of football this year. He played in 54 games across 5 different competitions. Well, actually, sorry, 2 of them are the same, but the final they do as a leg system and things like that. He played a lot of football regardless, and he was a key part of Fluminense winning the Libertadores. He is a good player. And with the fact that he's 22, you can develop and you can improve a player like that. That actually, with an Ange-style coaching system, it can work. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say that I watch Fluminense every week, because I don't, and neither do you. And if you do, then you're probably a Fluminense fan. But if you're not a Fluminense fan, I doubt you would do. I watched some little bits and bobs on him, and I did like what I see. I'm not going to lie, I did like what I see. I've liked what I've seen on other players I've talked about when I've been watching some of their videos. It is a position that we need to look at, number 6, regardless of Andre being the guy or someone else. 6 is a position we need to think of and we need to look at. Just because I think Højbjerg will go in the summer. I don't see him going in January, and I could be wrong. And if he does, then obviously 6 is something we'll have to work on. Because I know there was reports that if a midfielder goes with a midfielder, we've got to replace. And, well, that would be the case, So anyway, but yes, just to give you a heads up on other videos coming today. Obviously, we've got the preview ahead of tomorrow's I'll call it midday, but it's 12:30. Fixture away to Wolves. We do have some injury updates. Hopefully, we'll find out a little bit more about Mickey van der Ven today. But yeah, we'll talk about the game, talk about key battles, things to look out for, and just kind of score predictions, and hopefully getting back on the winning march again. I think the thing is, you'll think about this game is, it's the game before international break. It'd be good to go in with a bit of positivity leading into the next international break. But hey, we'll see. But anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you did enjoy it. Drop a like on the video if you did. Hit me in the comment section below. Obviously, you've got the Andre situation that I've literally just talked about. Let me know what you think about Andre potentially being a guy that we are going to go for. But also the Gonçalo Inacio thing. And also, I went through, 4 different avenues Spurs potentially could go in. Talk about the avenues. Talk about what maybe you think would happen if we did go for him. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and hit the bell notification for more. But anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, guys.